I'm Larry Anglisano reporting for Ab Brief here at NBAA in Las Vegas. I'm with Matt Bergwall at Cirrus. Matt, we've been perched here before. You and I flew one of the first Vision jets from Minnesota back to Hartford. Here we are, how many years later?
Yeah, it's been almost 10 years since the Vision jet's been in production. I mean, 2016 is when the first deliveries did occur. And now we have over 700 airplanes kind of flying throughout the world and 1,500 type rater pilots.
Yeah, so I thought we'd talk about type ratings and talk about Vision jet training in general and what you've learned in those 10 years, right? You know, when the Vision jet first came out, there was a pretty rigorous type rating course done where? In Duluth? Or was it down in Tennessee, the Vision jet? Vision Center?
Yeah, our initial type ratings actually did occur in Duluth when the airplane was just right in its infancy. But we moved all of our operations down to Knoxville, and it was 2017.
Okay.
And where we had a full motion simulator that all the type ratings, occur there. In fact, we expanded Knoxville now to have a second full motion simulator as well. So we now have two, and keeping up with the production demand.
Yeah. So, you know, you've been with the program from the beginning. You know, you've seen a lot of Vision jet pilots, you know, a lot of time in the Vision jet. As the airplane has evolved, how has the training changed? Or let me back up a little bit. And what are you seeing from a skill level when people come back from for recurrent training? What are you learning as this airplane racks up the hours and racks up the years?
So one of the things unique about the Vision jet, the majority of the owners are also the pilots, and they're non-professional pilots. So it's not their, not their sole focus. It's something that they do. It's not something they do as a profession. So we really did cater the training around the non-professional pilot.
Okay.
And so one of the things we have going for us as well is the majority of those pilots have come from our SR series airplane. So we were able to start kind of catering our type rating training to kind of, with that transition in mind, going from a piston SR series airplane to a Vision jet, and introducing everybody to turbine operations.
And was it not like that in the early days when you come back to the first generation Vision jet? Were there not as many pilots coming out of pistons as there are now, you think, or about the same?
It's been about the same.
Okay.
So we've actually seen that that demographic has been pretty similar. And so we are very kind of fortunate to actually also own the overall training experience for those owners. Yeah. And we get to see a lot. First of all, we're keeping our relationships with the owners. They're coming not only for the type rating, do they spend, a few weeks with us, but then they also come on a yearly basis to receive recurrent training. Okay. And from there, we can start working with our owners to kind of teach them what we've learned kind of over the years, what we have seen other owners, what their strengths are, kind of what their weaknesses are, and then kind of cater our training to really make the safest pilots that are out there. Yeah, and so how has the airplane changed? Right, this is, what generation would you consider this 2025 that we're sitting in? Well, we are in a Cirrus, so relentless innovation is something that we take pride in. And we are now in a generation 2, we call it generation 2 plus. 2 plus, yep. Okay. So G2 plus is the airplane that we're sitting in today. Yeah. And so more power than the original airplane? So, over the years. To a certain extent, I guess. Yeah, we've, the altitudes have changed. We went from 28,000 feet to 31,000 feet when we went from G1 to G2. Okay. When we went from G2 to G2 plus, we actually increased the takeoff thrust that's available, which allows our the airplane to operate in a lot shorter kind of distance, especially in the hot and high situations. We constantly are adding features to the airplane, whether it's in the avionics or also safe return. It's actually a perfect example as well, where we introduced that in August of 2020. And so we're constantly innovating the airplane. Yeah, how has the avionics changed? This is the Perspective Plus Touch? Yep, get that right? Perspective Touch Plus is what we're in right now. And was that not the original in this airplane? I don't quite remember it looking like this. So we did have a little bit of an upgrade from G1 to G2, where we went from Perspective Touch to Perspective Touch Plus.
Got it. Okay.
And there we just had some got some added features, a little more processing power that the avionics now have.
Yeah. So where do you go to get training? There's a new training center in Scottsdale. You know, how, I guess like the question is, how has the training centers evolved? Are there more options for getting training in these airplanes?
So most of the training, all the type ratings are still done in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
That's where we have our 2 full motion simulators. What we, as the fleet continues to grow, again, we have 700 airplanes that are currently flying around the world. And we have over about 1,500 type rated pilots that have come through our course. So the amount of pilots that need, you know, the 61, 58, the recurrent training, keeps on growing and growing. In fact, I mean, right now I'm actually ready slotted to do my 8th recurrent check here in November.
Okay.
So you think about all the pilots that, you know, as that pool kind of keeps growing, we did need to expand.
Yeah.
And one of the places we wanted to do that in was Scottsdale, Arizona, where probably starting in about March, we'll be able to offer our recurrent training program in Scottsdale to kind of take care of the demand that's out on the West Coast.
Yeah. Last, you know, I hate to mention it, but the insurance market is still sort of in shambles, and you know, it's an insurance market that you know, can be kind of tough for somebody working their way up into a turbine, particularly if they're an aging pilot. How does your training help somebody like that, and what are you seeing?
So we're actually seeing a lot of our pilots are first turbine owners.
Yeah.
So
is that sort of the demographic for this airplane still? Does it still make a good first turbine?
It does, absolutely. Yeah. It's a great transition from, you know, a piston to a turbine. You know, one of the biggest reasons why it's only one engine, right? Sure. So you just think about the complexities kind of within that are taken away kind of in the training process, which makes it a very decent kind of transition. But in terms of the insurance market, actually, our customers usually find some pretty favorable rates, and a lot of that has to do with just with the SR time that they typically do have. Okay. And when they do come into the jet with the training program, and kind of with the overall program or the ecosystem that we kind of built around the airplane.
Anything else you want folks to know about training in a Vision Jet, whether they're an existing Vision Jet owner or thinking about stepping up to a Vision Jet? Maybe they're an existing Cirrus owner, or maybe they don't own anything. What's your advice to somebody that's working their way up into a Vision Jet?
Yeah, start if you want to get into aviation, start with our SR airplanes. They are the perfect kind of first airplane to really understand what kind of personal aviation, personal travel can do for you. And then there's a clear path going from our SR series airplane kind of going up to the Vision Jet.
Well, thanks for talking. Always enjoy catching up with Matt Bergwall. I'm Larry Anglisano reporting. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Larry.